Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream. Hopefully, you had a great week. And yeah, so as usual, I'd like to start the stream with some of the updates. And I think uh, one of the kind of the main updates, or at least some of the background work that I had to do this week, was around missions and kind of an issue that I ran into. And I'll give you a quick example, is where you get a task to pick up an item, and you already have that item in your inventory. Like you've picked it up, on where you were searching for something, and you might have picked up that item. Well, with the system that I had in place with this free package that I got off of the monthly free stuff from Epic, it does not have that. So I I spent some time working on it. So I'll show you how that behaves, and we'll play around with a couple of like was really simple mission, not really uh, in any order here, but just to highlight that aspect. And so yeah, a lot of my time I've spent on trying to figure out that issue, and hopefully some of my testing is working out okay. Now the other thing is we've seen last week, I was working on creating this garage just to kind of an asset like a scene filler. And so what I ended up with is, as I'm expanding the town a little bit, so I've added this back alley down here, and of course, th these buildings are still not finished. I'm still working on them, but I ended up with this. I used one of the garages, just change some colors, like materials around to make them look a little bit different. And inside, there's a whole world. And so I've made sure that some of the garages that are kind of mission related have interiors. And this one was the first one where I get to use another package that I think I might have gotten on some like really big sale, and just kind of marrying these together to give you this interior. So, kind of just this garage attached to the house, and there's a door in here. The house doesn't have interiors, so you won't be able to enter, but um, there's the garage interiors. Hey, young Jojo, did you buy the landscape materials, or did you build the landscape materials, or did you buy it? So initially, it came with this with the package that had the trees, like my vegetation or the trees, yeah, because like the vegetation is not from the ground vegetation is not from that package anymore. But so it did come with the material, and I ended up just using some of the textures from it, but the material itself is actually the original material. I started with what was in the package, but I ended up just heavily tweaking it, and it's well not what was in the package in the beginning. So yeah, it's I started off from something that I bought, and then I used something that I already had to merge into it. Hey Imran, welcome. Alam, hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so Jojo, hopefully that gives you an answer. All right, and the other thing that I did is I've expanded kind of the back side of the town a little bit with some just the residential houses. If you remember what I mentioned last week, kind of tapering off the town, so kind of towards the middle there's like the bigger, taller buildings, and towards the edges there's like the smaller buildings, just houses and such. Yeah, Jojo, and if you want to see anything else, let me know. I can help you with that. All right, so let's get to some of the what's going on, with a mission, right? So let me actually bring in I hope it's going to be a little bit easier, but I'm trying to think what would be the easiest way to get some of the NPCs in here. I already have one back there, so I can probably use this guy. So that way, he's gonna hand you some missions and you won't have to like, go walk across the map. So we'll just have him somewhere out here in kind of this parking lot. Oh, hey, Alan, thank you, thank you. Hopefully that's a good thing. I've never played DayZ, so I know it was a hugely popular game, but yeah. All right, so let's add this guy to give you a mission. Where is so that's the tablet. Let me see. Um, so this dialogue is definitely not related to the mission that you're gonna get, but let's uh, let's do that. And I believe this should be set to do not repeat, so we can interact with this guy. And let me also clear out my save game for the missions. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so I'm not going to interact with these things right now. This is another thing that I've done over the past week is like an interactable container that can spawn an item, whether it's related to a quest or not. So, for example, right now, uh, this particular quest is looking for you to get a fuse for a panel. And so if you interact with this inside of this, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a fuse. So I'm not going to pick it up just now. I'm just going to go and grab the the mission first, and I just got to make sure that yeah, some collisions that I need to update with this little thing here. So, oh shoot, this one should have been like a two-way convo. My bad. So let's get jump back into game. All right, so let's talk to this person. All right, so while he doesn't tell you much about, the dialogue is definitely not for this, and I don't need that. It's just part of the mission itself. But actually, that should have been. Oh, his shoot, his tag is not Jane. Just gonna name him something else. I should have just brought the characters from my test level. So maybe I'll just do that. I probably should have used those and just brought them into this main level. Well, let's see. Hopefully now that the proper tag is going to be used. All right, so there you go. The um, the main thing right now should be to get to the garage and then find the fuse. And also the other thing that I forgot to show is, and actually let's do that right now, is kind of search areas. So basically you get to a location and then you're going to have to search in that area for this item, right? So it says, get to the garage and find the fuse. So let's add that before we go any further. Let me add that in. So I'm gonna move the player start away from this. So I'm just gonna kind of start right where this guy is. And I'm gonna add the special area to this. So basically what this area does is it's kind of like a search area, and once you once you overlap it, your device is going to start beeping, kind of just to let you know that you're in a search area, and the UI is going to display like a search area on the device. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger to kind of encompass the garage. All right, so what this guy also has is a name. Actually, I believe this was search. Search area. And I'm probably gonna need to go back to my test level just for reference and with these, because this one, the search area is referenced by the mission to kind of point you to this. But I cannot recall if this one already had a tag added to it. Bear with me for one quick second here. Um, so my objectives was to get to the garage. So let's call this garage. And this is where I need to reach. And then once inside the garage, I need to find a fuse. All right, let's give this a try. And I'll show you what I meant. Oh, hey, thank you, Atlam. I'm happy you like it. I'm happy you like it. All right, so let's see. I don't need to interact with an NPC anymore because it already saved that, and so I should have that as a current objective. As you can see, there's fuse and garage. So if I look at my device, it's going to tell me get to the garage. So, and I'm not sure why it's pointing at 30 meters. It's definitely not 30 meters. But what's happening, you can see like the little text saying to investigate has shown up. So now I need to kind of search the garage, and there is no waypoint anymore. So basically, when you're in a search area, it's not going to point you to that item. So you need to like look for it. And I'm probably going to need to hide some of these icons because they seem a little too obvious that there's something in there, so that way you can like go around and like open the drawer, open the um, this this cabinet, and pull some drawers and open them up, like in this case, and there you go. So now there's the fuse, and then I'm gonna pick up the fuse, and this one should have actually completed. So what should have happened next is my my quest should have been updated to say the next part of but that's the problem. I think it's something with the tag itself, that I might have something else in the world that has a tag of garage. So I'll jump into my test level, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so in here, pretty much the same thing. Oh, and now I remember, my bad. So the search area did not need a tag, but this this target that I need to reach, basically being the garage, I forgot to use this specific uh, reach reach target blueprint. So I think we should be good to go back into the other one. So let me go back. I forgot this one was the other piece of the puzzle. So let me go back in here. Yeah, there were like a lot of stuff that happened this week, so my brain is a little scrambled. Hey, Imran, learning. Can you explain what is prefab in real similar to Unity? You know what? I don't know exactly what that is in Unity, like what a prefab is in Unity. Um, and to be honest, I don't really know what a prefab is when it comes to Unreal. Like, I think people might have different definitions for it. Um, do you have a reference of that? Maybe I can. Um, I'm guessing it's kind of like a blueprint. It's if my understanding is correct, I think it's yeah, if it's a prefabricated game object, I think it's just like a blueprint. Like for example, um, I have this blueprint for like this interactable item. Um, well, so there's a difference because like a component has to be a part of a blueprint. So like inside of my, for example, a component would be like inside of my main character, a component is going to be like my inventory. Like I have that set up as a as a as a component, right? It can't live by itself, so it needs to be part of an actual class, like in this case like a player. And I think that's the most basic example that I can give you of a component. Oh, hey, thank you, Fifth Vertex. Thank you for commenting on that. Yeah. LM, the scatter tool, how does it work? Do you mean like that IS scatter tool that I use in my um, um, in my world? All right, so let's do what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do let me remove the tag off of this one. That's a post-process volume. Where is there we go. So this is my garage. I don't need that. But what I do need is the reach target. Reach target, which is also just like a box. And this one is going to be called a garage. And I'm just going to make it the same size to kind of encompass the garage itself. I guess I could put this functionality into that search area now that I'm thinking of it, because there might be multiple entrances to a location. So yeah. Well, let's see. I'm gonna try and clear the saved games and run it again. Yeah, the hexagon thingy. I can show you right away. Let me just test this out and show it to people, and I'll show you how that works. It's actually pretty cool. Like I said, because I use it quite heavily. All right, so let's jump into game. I believe I removed yeah, I removed the saved game, and let's take a look. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna talk to Jane here. Jane with the mustache. So so now I have the current objectives as Fuse and Garage. And let's see where this one points me. It still doesn't point me to the right place. Okay, I'll need to do a little bit more digging into this. But let's take a look. So once I'm in here, just as you've seen before, I can like open this up and pick up the fuse. Apparently the device is going to my right there to my root bone instead of my pelvis or somewhere else. So there you go. So now once I picked up the um once I picked up that fuse, the next mission comes in because I've completed the two objectives. So the next this is all one mission, right? With the system and those two steps, getting to the garage and then picking up the fuse, they're part of a sequence. And then the following sequence is to get to this fuse box and place the fuse in there, and that would complete the quest. So yeah, that was kind of like the main thing that I was attempting to do this week. Of course, along with just some of the level designing here. And yeah, so those I think were kind of like the main functional updates for this week. Fit Vertex and Unreal Engine, it's different. You can build them in. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much, Fifth, for helping Imran. Yeah, there you go. So Alan, here we go. Let me show you a little bit of what this thing is. So for example, um, I use it heavily for items like this. Like you have a fence, and so in here what you can provide is the mesh itself, and you know set the scale, how many instances. Then if there's no tracing, so it follows along the spline because it has a distribution method as well, which is really nice. So it can be like a spline down, which I'm doing here. It can be an area. It can be linear. So linear is just straight up and down. I usually prefer the spline. Then you can do like a fixed distance, and so in case of like an object like this, which if it's a man-made object, then it's a specific distance, between each instance. Let's see. After that, you can say, so there's no detection on overlapping because I wanted it to just be completely straight. And the slopes, the location, if I wanted to kind of sink it in or move it up. If there's any spline rotation, like if it's like following the spline, and some scale fall off, um, then this surface curvature, I haven't used it too much, but yeah. So this is one of the uses for fences. Another one is I've shown you last week, kind of just this little graveyard here. So for example, this one is also on a spline, but it's got a bigger spread, so like the gravestones are placed at farther apart, and there's like a rotation snap, so they're not like at a bunch of different angles. So that's another option. Um, for example, like I use it for this fence here. So for this fence here, I can add the spline rotation, and it's using like it really just follows the spline. So see like it bends a little bit, which is kind of I wanted it to follow the terrain a little bit. Let's see, another use that I have for it is kind of just spreading uh, blueprint actors. And in this case, I just have a sand decal, and each one of the sand decals is picking up out of an array a different material. So that's another use that I have for this. Let me see what else. You know, Edging like this, I can do it as well with this tool. Let's see. What else? Oh, all the electrical poles in my level are placed using this tool. Of course, the electrical pole has some smartness, I guess, or you know, it just tries to pick up the next pole based on a dot product. So that's why they're automatically linked like this based when they're placed on the spline. And with this spline, I can set, how far apart they want to be, their scaling and all that. So that's another one. I was showing you the other one is also just placing some, kind of these road patch decals on the road, similar to the other one, but this one is using a spline. Um, let's see, were there any other uses that I'm making for this? Yeah, in some locations, like I'm using it to spawn some trees where there's no terrain or um, the the procedural foliage volume does not spawn any trees, so I can use that to spawn some instances around there. Let's see, is there anything else? I think those are kind of the main uses that I have. Alan, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea how I'm using it. Yeah, and again, I got it on on a sale. I got it on I think it was like $2 or something like that. So it was for what you're getting, it's a lot of bang for your buck. Now I do have an older version of it because I kind of modified it quite a bit for some of my needs, and but uh, but yeah, everything that I've shown you can be done with the tool from the get-go. But yeah, um, so yeah. I'm so happy, Fifth Vertex. Thank you so much for commenting for Enron. Hopefully that helped as well. Okay, guys. Yeah. So those were kind of the main updates, mainly around missions. Kind of just inching closer to having something playable by people. And yeah, there was just this area back here that I worked on just as a kind of a break from the the gameplay mechanic aspect of things. And yeah, so just adding a little bit to this side of town. And so yeah, there we go. There's the town is coming together. And the other thing that I did is kind of this building here was pretty poorly looking building, with some like lack of walls and everything like that. So I was thinking for the rest of the stream, maybe finish this off. And this is something that we looked at in an older stream from a while back, and it's probably time to get this completed and have it feel like it belongs, right? I'm still on the fence a little about like how the windows are placed out here. Probably I'm gonna cut out a few of these and but the inside of this building is already in. So let me show it to you guys because I did some playthrough in it and it looked really oversized for the player. It might have been fine for like a third person, and even at that point, it looked like the player was um, a very short character compared to how big the the interior was. So let me show you what I mean. Hey, hero, sorter hero. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome, welcome. Yes, so let me go into my something that we looked at last week was the the data layers outliner. So I've created a couple of mores, a couple of s'mores, a couple of more of these. So I have just to break them up a little bit easier. So I have the apartment interiors data layer. So I'm gonna load that up real quick, and here it is. Yeah, so in here with this player, uh, let's actually get the player in here. The lighting is going to look pretty weird because it's the exterior walls are not matching the windows anymore, just due to that change that I did for scale. But let me get the player. Where is it? Over here. And I'll show you what I mean when it came to scaling and why I felt like it was I made it more so that it matches what's in the other apartment building for scale, and so that's why. Let me see. Hopefully this is not going to. Oh, I might need to go back in here and open this building up. I think the collision that got imported is, yep, that's what it is. Let me delete that. There we go. So let's jump into game. And I'll show you what I mean by the scaling. Oh, and that's not what I meant. Luckily, I have mantling, so I can like climb over things, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to enter the building again. Oh yeah, and the other thing I forgot to show you is um, a while back we were looking at the car interactions and how the player, when it interacts with the car, it plays a montage and it gets into the car. So what I did is I did the same thing that I lock the player camera when it mantles or does anything like that onto that montage. So basically, when I climb on something, I uh, I lock that camera to the bone of the head, so that way you're not gonna see like the top of your head or your eyes or some other body parts of the player. Yeah, so let's see if I can find where there we go. So this is what I meant, like you're looking down. So at least we can climb up over here. Oh shoot, there's like this thing here. Can I get around it? Yes. Oh, cool. Well, so I guess there's not going to be too much issue with like navigating the world, but there's a little bit of issue with opening a door that's not interactable, probably. Hey, thank you so much, Sorter. Welcome to the party. Exactly. All right, so let me see. I'm guessing what's going on is this level does not get loaded at the right time, even though I think it should have. Let me try jumping into game mode again. Why would it not? Oh, so if that doesn't work, we'll just, cheat a little bit. Yeah, so as you can see, when it does like a mantle type of thing, it the camera switches to your head and it just follows the montage. Okay, so let's just look at this one. Yeah, and this is what I meant, when I was talking about the size. I mean, the I get it, fancy, rich type of buildings. Yeah, they have like high ceilings, but this high ceiling is up to like 4 meters plus, which is, exaggerated. And of course, when you go up to the door, it's kind of like you're a child size. The door is like almost double your size. And so that's why I wanted to go a little bit. Let me try something. I never tried this. I'm not sure if this one's gonna work. If I can like move the player to runtime and then possess him again. Oh yeah, there you go. It works. Hmm, that's actually cool. Okay, so this is what I meant. This apartment seems gigantic. And especially like even in third person. Like in first person, it feels even bigger, and that's why I wanted to scale it down a little bit. So sort of hero, I want to learn UE5. Yeah, that is definitely a process. It does require patience, but if you're interested, I can recommend a few channels that put you through, some kind of, to get you started with creating like a simple game or something like that. That's what I usually like to recommend, just because um, it's like it's nice to have some results after you do some learning, and let me know. Yeah, but Udemy courses usually cost money. I'm not sure if there's any free. I was just thinking of some channels that I follow on YouTube. And Fifth Vertex, yeah, most houses in the short type rooms. Yeah, in 3 meters, 3 meters. That's already like a really tall ceiling for a house. Um, so this is what I'm looking at. These are the walls that I've used previously. So in first person, I think they're like the proper. They're more of a proper scale. Yeah, there you go, 280, something like that. Um, I know, like mostly in the U.S. they don't go over 2.5 meters. Most houses. Yeah. So let's this is yeah. So this is kind of the new updated wall height, like you see here, and this is like the old scale. And I just wanted to kind of uh, be consistent, especially across with like enterable interiors. There's definitely some buildings that I'm going to keep around the way they are. They're a little bit bigger up at the top, like these ones, but those are not going to be enterable anyways. So um, so yeah. Hey, Cursor, welcome, welcome. Uh, nothing is going on. No change from last week. Oh, this is actually kind of cool if you just joined us. This area here, I was kind of happy with how this turned out, from like a lighting aspect of things, and just trying it out to see how things look. But yeah, that's Lumen for you. So yeah, let's do continue on with this building. I'll need to address, like I said, the kind of this interior wall, and hopefully get that sorted out, or not sorted out, but like, you know a little bit closer scale to what the other apartment was like. Oh yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is Fifth Vertex. I'm totally with you on that. Yeah, I totally get you. Yeah, the interior looks decent, thank you. But yeah, I kind of felt like it was. Yeah, two car. Well, even, for me, for myself, there's also like when it comes to the width of the street, it's about, you know, it's about like this wide. And this is pretty close to real size when it comes to one of those military trucks. But I can definitely see it in a game the scale of Grand Theft Auto, where it's oversized. And even in Far Cry, like the Far Cry games that I've played, the interiors seem like the scale that I've just shown you that I want to apply. But everything outside, when it comes to like roads and everything like that, they're like pretty oversized. And I get it. Maybe it's physics related or something like that, because there's a lot of driving going on, and maybe it's also helping for the AI navigation when you have like a bigger space where they can drive. It's easier for them to do the pathfinding. That's just my unexperienced idea thought. Yeah. Um, so as a comparison, let me take you to that apartment where let's see, where was my here? So the apartment that I was working on over here, let's take a look at the size for that, like the interior size. Just annoying that I get out of the lane all the time. Oh man, yeah, that's funny. And while I can't relate to Grand Theft Auto, because I haven't played one since forever, um, it's I'm just my point of comparison is Far Cry 5 and 6. All right, so let's get inside here, and actually I'm just gonna start from the outside. Yeah, and that's true. That's true. There is some, I'm not gonna lie. There are a few like a residential interior residential houses. There's a couple that have some really nice, and this is a package that I'm using. Um, oh, is this door locked? What the heck? Or is it just not a door? I don't think it's a. I thought I've set it up as a door. It's closed. I should be able to interact with it. I'll need to figure out what's going on with this. But yeah, let me show you, and you let me know how you feel about the scale, because that's again, that's one of the reasons that I'm streaming, to get opinions from folks. And yeah, let's jump into here, and I'll show you kind of how the scale is compared to the character. So this is how it looks in first person, and then third person. He's about, yeah. So definitely the ceiling is also, you know I would say, higher than normal. Um, it's But this is kind of how tall he is. Walking inside buildings, yeah, that's exactly it, and that's what I wanted to have from the beginning. Probably not all the buildings with interiors, because there's a lot of work into that, but definitely quest related stuff in interiors as well. So, but this is how it looks inside from like a first person, and I think scaling is about what I would expect in like a real world scenario. It's at least playing it. Not sure how it translates through YouTube, but yeah, playing it in this feels like a decent scale. Like walking around here. You know, um, like as I'm comparing it kind of to other games that I've played, like that had a lot of interiors, like Dying Light, the first one, which had a little bit more realistic interiors. The second one was pretty post-apocalyptic, so you can't really gauge it so well, and it had some pretty tall buildings also. But yeah, this is kind of how the interior looks as far as scale goes. So let's actually try and go upstairs. Right, so when you're like close up to a door, and I'm gonna need to figure out what's going on with the doors. There's something that I think I might have messed up something when it comes to interacting with the doors. Um, yeah, so hopefully it doesn't feel like, in the other one it felt really big. But this is kind of this the scale that I'm going for. Hopefully that seems good on your end on YouTube. So Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, so that's kind of how it looks inside. And this is just kind of the bathroom. But most of these assets, if not all of them, are for the interior stuff. They're from that package that I mentioned, this residential houses package. So yeah, once you exit, this is kind of like the scale of the building as well. Um, yeah. The camera has a tiny bit of idle movement. Yes, Imran. So if you're looking at, say, if you're looking at the corners, I think that's where the best place where you can tell. So now, for example, if you look at, say, like this, and you look at the corner of the building, like right on the right of your monitor, you'll see there's like a little bit of a movement, you know. I didn't want to make it too exaggerated because, you know, as a person that has motion sickness, I don't like that. So, yeah. All right. So yeah, there we go. And then, you know, some of these buildings that I mentioned, you know, they are a little bit taller. So the doors might be a little bit bigger, but they're not like that big that it makes you feel like you're a kid, you know. So, um, and you know, what you're interested in is kind of like the ground floor anyways. You know, you're not going to be able to tell that this window is, you know, much bigger than this window. So, you know, ground floor is um, I'm trying to get that to be as close as possible. Oh, thank you, Imran. Yeah, and I kind of like that, you know, having that in. And this is just a little bit of, you know, walking around town, I guess at this point I can say, and you know, getting into this to this backside over here, you know, where some of these guys you might be meeting some of these guys. Um, there's something going on with the collisions for this. I need to fix it because even like mantling is behaving weirdly. So then, you know, we're back inside of this garage over here and back out on the street. There's going to be a couple of, this is again a package that I got on a very good discount on the marketplace that has all these out, kind of outbuildings, these kind of shacks that you can like just add around the map, you know, like small buildings, you know, like, you know, for example, this one, you know, this one over here, the one that we've added in the previous stream as well. So yeah, just kind of, you know, filling up the scene. Oh, look, I can actually climb over that. Cool. So this is what I was talking about when that you know, when you climb over one of these, like right now, that movement is from the climbing motion, you know. So I don't have control to move the camera when when I'm moving in a when I'm doing a mantle. And I was just trying to experiment with that and see um how it works. And yeah, you can see, I think you can see the hand movements. Yeah, so you can see them a little bit there. It's a little bit abrupt, so I might make the transition a little bit longer. But but yeah, you can. I think the biggest one is when it's not a high mantle. It's kind of like a low mantle, you know. So kind of like this, you know, like you're placing your hand on top of something. And I guess you can actually mantle quite a bit, which is pretty cool. I haven't really tried to do too much mantling. It's just, you know, I've tested the feature out and, you know, made some adjustments and it works pretty well. In Apex Legends. Oh, okay. Actually, I think Well, so in my case, you can see, well, so it's like a TPS, right? A true, or what is it? There's like a special name where you can actually see the whole body, right? Like you're thinking of being able to do this, right? So if you look down, you can see like the movement. Is that what you were asking, Imran? Hey, third person. Yeah, so the third person is just switching the camera. It doesn't do anything else basically. But there is definitely some, I wouldn't say kludginess, but okay, yeah, go ahead. You can, yeah, DM me. Hey Jesse, I'm doing good. How are you? Hopefully you're having a good Saturday. So this is called this is called just like the name of the stream. It's called On Your Own, and it's a single player first person action adventure game where and right now we're just I usually stream in the weekends just showing off some of the work that I've done in the past week and doing maybe some level design usually because it's kind of visual stuff. But yeah, the game takes place in this world here. Let me just save because before I get some kind of issue. But this is pretty much the playable area, like all the way around here. And you enter this world through what a lot of games use, which is just a kind of a plane crashing. But uh, as a difference is, you know, you're crashing with the plane, but you can jump out of the plane at different locations. So depending on your jump points, currently I have planned 3 jump points. And I for the demo is going to be just one day you're going to be able to use. But depending on your jump points, the game is going to start a little different with the first missions, and then they're going to converge into a single thread. Yeah, so I can show you a little bit more of the world, but basically, once you start the game, there's going to be some of these bad guys that have taken over this area. Kind of think of think of Far Cry games, right? It's kind of that's my a lot of inspiration I'm getting from that. And what you need to do is you need to work with some of the friendly NPCs. They're going to give you some missions, and you're going to have to discover what is going on here on this world. And so that's kind of it in a small nutshell. Hopefully that sounds interesting. And yeah, so it's a passion project. I've been working on it for a number of years now. I'm on my second engine now with this what you're seeing here, in Unreal. But yeah, it's moving closer, inching closer and closer to like a demo, and yeah, yeah. Those are the types of games that I like playing. Like I'm a single player game for starters. I don't play any multiplayer games. Like I played, I don't know, when I was when I was little, when I was younger, I used to play like Counter-Strike, but that's like old people, if you want to think about it that way. Uh, and StarCraft and those kinds of multiplayer games. But my I haven't played a multiplayer game in years. And my types of games are like just like that. Far Cry 5, 6, Days Gone. What else? Dying Light. All the Dying Light games, basically. Dead Island. All the Dead Island games. So, so yeah, single player games. That's where I'm at. Have you already created the graphic settings menu? Yes. So let me know if you want to see how the menu looks, like the menu in general for the game, and I can jump into game and show you. Okay. Well, what did I want to do? When you walk, you see your hands. Oh, I think I know what you mean. But you kind of see your hands like in front of you, you know. I think I know what you mean. I've seen that in games, you know, like but if you were to look at it in third person, it'd be pretty funny because it looks like the guy is marching, you know. Um, so yeah. Okay, yeah, let me jump into game mode here, Jesse, and I'll show you. Oh, um, yeah, so I'll show you what I do, but I don't think I've actually tested it out, to be honest with you. So usually for my settings, um, you can change them here, but I am not entirely sure if I have them working properly. But I can show you how I save it because usually with my things, they once you click on this, it'll just I'm working to make them so that they save once you click on one of these options. You know, like for example, the GI options. Um, like completely disabled. So when you click on one of these options, it would automatically just save it. So you don't have to like go down here and apply the settings. And so that's one of the things that I was trying to do. And let me just turn the music off. So I'm gonna set that to unlimited, like the full screen mode. I think that still works. But now they asked about this is, and I really appreciate you asking this because I'm getting a lot of, people that ask about something that, well, let me revisit this because I don't remember if I've done it, if it works properly. But let's look at how I'm doing these settings here. So let me find where that settings menu lives. And at least I can show you the one that I did for where is my content browser? Content browser here. And what we want to look at is the game options. Bear with me for 1 second. All right, so there we go. This is basically the menu. And I can, let's take a look at the resolution first. So in my case, there's just some animations to kind of pop open that box. All right, so it's just opening that up. And let me see, where was the resolution set? Because this is really good that you asked me that. All right, so there you go. So this is how things are popping open. And this is the resolution. So let's go in here. And each one of these, they're all just button uh, based on this, parent button here. So let's take a look at this. If I was to, oh, I might need to revisit this now, would I? Let's see, request resolution, and then we're gonna try and set the resolution. And this is through set screen resolution, which is if you get the game user settings, you can just set screen resolution based on what your choices are. In this case, it's just bringing in the resolution from the button that I clicked. Now, when it comes to saving, if you're interested in that, this one doesn't do it. I haven't done it in here just yet. But um, back in here, if we were to look at this GI options section, let's kind of play this, not that one, but GI options. All right, so in here, there's a set of options for this. So we got all areas, only interiors disabled. This is kind of something I did recently to try and give the player a few more options to get more frame rates, like more frame rates, better frame rate by having Lumen enabled in all areas. Only interiors, basically when you're outside, like in the forest or anything like that, disable Lumen, get a few extra frames per second. So what's happening in here, let me see. I might need to actually play it and trigger this, and I can't remember where this one is taking me. Let me debug this real quick. So we'll see exactly where it goes, and you can, if you want, you can pause the video and and kind of do it like I'm doing it to to save the settings, because I basically just save it to a save file. So let's take a look in video, GI options. Okay, so let's follow this down. All right, so when you do that, first of all, I'm just executing some of the commands depending on my needs, like enabling or disabling global illumination. And after that, let's go back here, and there we go. So I am loading this game from slot, the save settings in my case, and then I'm getting that object. If it's failed, then I'm gonna create it because it's probably the first time that I'm changing the settings, and I'm just setting the save settings reference, and then I'm going into the save GI settings, and basically, let's actually put a breakpoint here, and after that, I'm just saving the game to slot. So the save GI settings is actually part of this BP save game. So let's get to that, and I'll show you what's going on in here. So the BP save game is just a child of the save game class, and I'm just applying the GI settings uh, to it here. So the GI settings, I have it as a enum to say whether it's all areas, whether it's just keeping track of what it is, right? So that way, when the game starts, it looks at this and says, oh, okay, GI settings is set to disabled. So I'm going to disable global illumination. And let me see, where was that? Over here. And once I set that, they're all in this save settings reference object. And then I'm just saving the save game to slot. So I have one slot just for the settings. And yeah, so that's it. So on my drive, um, that one's going to be right here. There's one for the quest manager, the save settings, and this is just a save slot that I'm going to implement to do like everything else related to the gameplay, like um, the player character, locations where you saved it. How come you're not using the system save settings node? Um, well, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons. Um, but I haven't used that because I don't have an option uh, to set the lumen, you know, like I want it. Because You can set it enabled to and disabled and save it in the save game settings just fine. But I wanted to also have this option to, you know, um, leave it enabled, but disable it on the world post-process volume. So that way, if you go inside a building, then Lumen is going to be enabled there, but it's going to take a lot less processing than when you're outside, like, lower draw call, due to like culling and all the other optimization that Unreal is doing. And that's why I couldn't save this to the save settings node. I needed to save it separately. Hope that makes sense. So Lumen enable settings. Yeah, the Lumen is just where was it? It's just through here. This is setting it to 1 or setting it to 0. 1 is enable, 0 is disabled. Hope that helps. Let me know. Okie dokie. Well, let's actually get into Blender and do some blendering around this facade and try to see how far we can get with this. So did you create a variable for Lumen to be saved in? Exactly. Well, so it's not a variable for Lumen, but what it is, it's a variable for my global illumination choice. So whether it's like all areas, all the interiors, or completely disabled. So that's what I'm saving in my in that save file, in that save settings. And there is a number of other options that I want to add in there that are not as necessarily as a that you can use the save settings node. It's an enum. So this one, this is the this EGI settings, and it's just an enum. You know, I'm guessing you can call it. Yeah, it's basically at the end of the day, I think it's like an integer. Um, Maybe, yeah, that's an oversimplification. It has like an integer order, like 0, 1, 2. But yeah, so this one, like I said, this is what I'm saving in that file, uh, whether whatever the GI settings would set to. Okay, and whoa, what's going on here? Did I not save it? Yeah, it definitely is. I make use of it quite a bit. I have to be honest. I do like the enum options. Kind of having enums, right? All right, let me see what layer did I put that new facade. This one should be it, but did I mess things up and not save it? These are the smaller ones. Oh shoot, maybe I forgot to save it. Let's see. Can we rescue it? Oh, this is from the 20th. Oh man, I hate when this happens. Let's see. Could you please show how to enable the VSync? I try to do it and I'm not sure if it's working out. You know what? I've tried to do that too, and I'm not entirely sure if it's working out for me either, to be honest. But let me take a look at that. Where's the VSync? VSync is here. Let me see. Set VSync enabled. But yeah, I don't know if it works. I haven't tested it too much. So yeah, but this is how I've done it. Fit Vertex using Blender version from the that's what it is. I mean, I am so used to this that it just never made sense for me to change. I've tried to change to Blender 3 dot something, and I just didn't like how it was, kind of like the shortcuts. Like I was thinking I'm just gonna jump into 3 dot something and work exactly the same as 2 dot whatever previous to threes. And I was sorely mistaken. You could probably spend the time and go about changing all the shortcuts and all that, but my main problem was that a lot of the plugins or like add-ons that I bought were for 2.79, and I would have to buy them again for 3 dot, you know, the 3 and on, and it just didn't make sense for the amount of use that I get through Blender. Yeah, I use it heavily, but I don't do anything extraordinary, like I just do simple, hard surface modeling stuff, like buildings and things like this. So I I decided, I'm not gonna I'm just gonna keep on using this one because it works. Yeah, exactly. It was a big change. I know they introduced, a lot of good updates, but for me it just didn't, you know, it didn't make anything, for my workflow. It wasn't going to improve anything. So um, if I was to do it, a lot of things would have not worked and took me a lot more time to do it, due to the lack of these add-ons. I actually made VSync by checking box to see if it was enabled. Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. I'm even on my end as well. I'm not entirely sure whether VSync is enabled or not. So that makes two of us. I'm sorry. Hey, Hisham, welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, go ahead. That's more important. You gotta do that. Have fun, or at least as much as you can have fun. All right. Well, let's just do this little. I'm just gonna try and play some of these things around here. All right. Just getting some of these windows in here. Ooh, and this one has a lot of materials. I need to make sure that I'm only using the right ones. So there's that and this, and I think that covers it. I can remove all these other ones. Okay, that's sitting in there. Okay, and I'm just gonna merge it into this one so we get a bunch of the windows over there. And then let's also do it down here. Oops, what's going on? Let's put it right there. Did you make the game assets yourself or buy them? So it's a combination. Like a lot of them are from the monthly free stuff that Epic does. A lot of them are made, especially when it comes to like the architectural stuff that is not this residential house package that I have. Like basically all these ones, like these in town buildings, like this one, these ones back here, these ones, this one. This one is from another free package on the marketplace. Um, this one was also like a heavily like a 50% discount, I think, on this motel package. Let's see. Um, this one is also something that I bought and then I just modified. But yeah, most of these, like everything that you see here is I've made those. Then there's like this area here, and I can show you this is like a residential area, and these are like this is like a pocket package off the marketplace called residential houses. So uh, I was just loading them in, so bear with me for a second here. There we go. So this is kind of like where some of the residential houses are at. All right. Um, for example, this one here, it's called like a modular rural cabin. So this is also from the marketplace. Um, and let's see what else. Okay, yeah. So this part here, like these walls I bought, I made, but this chemical plant here, which is kind of like the industrial area, um, is this is also like a package from the marketplace. Then kind of some of the mine areas. This is a lot of like mega scans, like back here. Let me see. So this area back here, this is just a lot of mega scans and some assets that I made. So yeah, it's definitely a combination of things. Most of the natural assets uh, are marketplace assets because I'm not very good at organic modeling or not good at all. Are you gonna have different character selection? No, not, at least not at this point because it being a first person shooter, you don't really have a lot of options, and there's not going to be any kind of customization. Like if you think of what was I going to say? Of Far Cry, right? You can have like different outfits and all that. It's more like Days Gone. Like Days Gone, you don't really have at least not that I remember. I don't think you can customize your characters in Days Gone. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like how it looks. So, it comes down then after that, some of these, like these, like this garage building, we actually made during last stream. It was something that I'm like, I don't have anything to show. So let's just do a little bit of that 3D modeling. And this is what we ended up. Actually, not this one, but we made this one over here. This building during the past stream. So, and like I said, after that is just kind of compositing the scene out of different other packages that I have. I do have a Discord. It should be in the description of this video. I think if you click on more, if I'm not mistaken, you should be able to see that. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention is I am kind of excited about 5.4 coming out because um, I'm hoping they're not just bragging and it's actually a fact, but they were saying something about some really big performance improvements. Like they were giving the city sample as an example. And the city sample on my machine works pretty horrendously. It works, let me put it that way. But they were saying like, I can't remember what the guy, the technical person was saying, that it was like 50% improvement or something like that in that sample, city sample. So I'm really curious to see if that's the case and if that translates into my project. We'll see. But should be awesome. Should be awesome to have something like that. All right. Well, let me do the same thing here and get this window into some of the other sections of this building. We're probably not gonna finish this today, but I hope to have it done this weekend. That's my main goal. Should be interesting. Oh yeah, I definitely like that idea of the motion matching. My biggest hope is that um, the they're gonna, as usual, since I do software engineering for my day job, my my biggest hope is bug fixes. And I am really tired of new feature this, new feature that. We gotta do this new shiny thing, and then you got like a bunch of terrible bugs that are like still lingering around. So for me is first bug fixing and then new feature. You know, I get it probably, for like shareholders and all that or whatever, if they have shareholders, they're like they want to see some kind of new shining little nugget, but I don't like that practice to be honest. Yeah, and same here. And I had a bunch of crashes with this direct 3D device remove that I've never had in previous versions. So it's yeah, oh yeah, sorry. I can share that with you here in Slack. One second. Let me see. Let me see. Where was that? Da, da, da. Oh, it's interesting. Like now you gotta hover over it somehow. Oh, here it is. So let me know if this works. Yeah, so I'm hoping that there are gonna be some bug fixes going on because oops, that's not what I wanted to duplicate. And let's join these together like that. There we go. I think that should work. Yeah, there you go. So we'll see. I think they said they're gonna have that released by the end of April, is my understanding. Uh, we'll see if that's how things are gonna go. But I am quite excited about that coming out. Oh yeah, thank you for joining. All right, let's see. So we want to try and add some of these windows on this side as well. Let's try and place them over here. Yeah, that's, one thing that was a little bit weird to me was kind of like 5.2 has been around for quite a while, and I think 5.3 seemed to have kind of come and gone really quick. At least that's how I feel. 5.5 they're gonna have. Oh, I haven't heard about that. Are they when are they planning? Do they have a timeline for 5.5? I haven't even heard of 5.5 being worked on. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to try and fit these as best as I can around here. Like I said, the windows placement are not quite final, but it's kind of just trying to get that in and see how it looks. Oh no, you're not 5.6 version 5.6. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do, I have to say. Nanite is not like something it's shiny. It's not something that I'm planning on using anytime soon. But I mean, I get it. It's a big push for them. All right, let's add like some kind of a roof here. Yeah, and same here, like I'm gonna migrate because I do have quite a number of plugins that I rely on, and those are not like blueprints where they're like independent of engine to some extent. I mean, mostly independent of engine. But yeah, some of these plugins that I have, they have to be rebuilt, and the developers need to like release the versions. But I'm hoping they're gonna keep with their schedule, right? Because I think they said that uh, they're gonna do it right the end of the month. Is that your understanding as well? Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm quite, like I said, I'm quite excited about it. And mainly, like I said, from what this guy was saying, just to see if the performance improvement is anything to if it really happens, right? That'd be great if we would get that kind of performance. Like I said, I can't remember the numbers that he was giving, but it seemed like really seemed to be pretty good. Oh man, I forgot this needs to be fixed here. All right, but I think I can fix that offline. Let's just get this into the engine and see how it looks without the holes in the building. Yeah, and like we were saying, a big hope would be to um, for the some bug fixes. I'm hoping we're gonna get some of that. That roof is kind of peeking through there, but shouldn't be too big of an issue. All right, let's fix these as well. They're kind of large. All right, so the building is almost in place. How do I save a slider value? You mean like through if you were to have it in like a menu, like a game menu? I believe that's a good question. Let's um let's link up on Discord. I'll have a look later on today, and just ping me to remind me. I might have an idea though. I'll have to check as I'm not entirely sure um, because you might want to that's one of those things that I'm not sure if it works to change it as you modify it, Like if it's just a click event, yeah, that's fine. You can save it to the file. It's pretty quick. But when you move that around and you keep moving it back and forward, I'm not sure how easy that is if you were to like, save with every little move of your cursor. So it might be because you have to hold it down. So I think maybe on release, I think that that thing has like on click and on release. So on release, at that point, you can save it, and that's just going to be one event that fires at that point. Um, so I think it's doable that way. But yeah, let me check and just ping me to remind me. Okay. Well, I think the front of it might not come out just because there's some like things missing over here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove this, and this is just gonna be one of those doors that I have. So there we go, like that. That one has the glass building and the trim. This one has just the different material, the trim for the building. This should be the side trim. What did I call it? There's so many. Oh, edge trim. There's so many materials in here. This is kind of like a mess. Trim windows, wood window trim, maybe trim one. Okay. How long have you been doing the game development? I started with CryEngine in 2013. Yeah, so moved to Unreal in about the middle of 2018. So about, 7 years, I would say now in Unreal. 7? Is that my math is right? No, 6. Math was not my strong suit, but yeah. All right, so there's the wall. Trim windows, glass, foundation. All right. I think we can, let's get all of those selected and let's export it. And everything here, exports, reworks, and this is 6.v2. We'll see what kind of mess this creates because I did not save it last night when I should have had. Um, what's CryEngine like? Well, it's different. It's in the title, CryEngine. It was a good experience for me that I got to practice some C++, because it's base C++. It's got some kind of like a blueprint-ish system, but you know, uh, a lot far behind what Unreal Blueprint is. You cry a lot. Uh, but yeah, I mean, most of it is because the lack of, documentation and they don't have a roadmap. Like they haven't updated the roadmap in like years. So it's um, it was um, I decided to try Unreal when they kept on delaying a release, an update release on the engine. So I think in 2 months, 3 months, I was able to do more in Unreal than I ever did in CryEngine, and I was able to understand everything that was going on, just from some of these tutorial series. And after that, it was just, you know, okay, I need to understand a little bit better how the AI is done with like behavior trees, how animation is done through the animation blueprint and all that. So, every little thing that I discovered, I'm like, oh my God, this is done so easily in Unreal. So that's what it is. Uh, with CryEngine, they don't have a market. They have like I think their marketplace, or the assets on their marketplace is like 2 pages worth of the assets on. Um, I'm exaggerating here, but it was frustrating to see that there was not a lot of um, you know they probably invested it on the back end, but it wasn't like it's nowhere near where Epic is. Their financial is um, I mean is made by Hunt. So like that Hunt Showdown, which is an awesome game. I played it. It's really fun. So, but that's their main cash cow I think at the moment. So, and they're focusing on that so much that I don't think they're focusing on the engine, or at least not in a way that you can tell. So I really don't like that. If you have a package, not having any news, okay, I get it. It's kind of a long-term solution type of thing because that's what they're on right now, this version that they're on. But at the same time, are you still working on the engine? Is it still like there's some rumors about CryEngine 6, I believe, or something, but it's just you don't really know what's going on. So I really liked a lot of things in the engine, like how they were doing some things, but just it wasn't enough, like uh, I think the only people using the engine at the moment is like the people that have used it for previous projects, and they um, um, they're gonna use it for like upcoming projects as well, which is what I would do. So, and yeah, Crysis, all the Crysis games, and I believe the first Far Cry was also made with CryEngine. So, it's a really powerful engine. Don't get me wrong. It's just, you know, very hard to use um, by most people. You know. So, lack of documentation or really old documentation that doesn't help at all. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I think that's the thing. Like I know CryEngine is never gonna catch up to Unreal. That's a unless Unreal like Epic goes under or some kind of crazy stuff like that. But I don't think CryEngine will ever catch up to Unreal or even I mean or Unity. It's going to be like a niche kind of engine. Like I said, it's really powerful and the one thing that I like is that the like C++ in CryEngine, I think it's a lot easier from looking at some C++ done in Unreal. C++ in CryEngine is a lot more straightforward to me at least. And I'm not by any means like a C++ connoisseur, but and yeah, that's kind of my opinion on it. Like I said, I wish they would have spent more time on it, but I get it. They're like compared to Epic, they're like a tiny team. Like I think their entire engine team is like what Epic has for like their material team or something like that. So let's see, where is this thing? It's here. And then the trim is going to be, where is that? Where is that? It's going to be for this one as well. And not that one, but which one's this one at the bottom? This one here. It's kind of gold, so I need to address that. But let's see where the other material for the trim was. This one here is going to be this one. Let's see. Hey, 3Die, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I saw you. Hello. You think you need C++ code, or if you make a game that requires a lot of power, performance heavy? Yeah, well, it really depends. Like, I don't think I've seen somebody do like a full-fledged game in strictly blueprints and then strictly C++ to compare the kind of some hard stats with those results. Um, I don't think anybody, or at least I don't know of anybody that might have done that. I'd be definitely interested in the result to to see where that stands. But even with that, like GPUs, CPUs are getting faster and faster, and I think this blueprints is pretty much so much more easier to use. Yeah, oh yeah, and there you go, the Choo Choo Train, Charlie Choo Choo or Choo Choo Charlie, I think it was, right? Choo Choo Charlie. That was also a game made, I think, if I'm not mistaken, by one person, and it was very successful. Like, honestly, I'm so jealous of that guy as well, like, but yeah, it was really nice because it's an original concept. So that was like, yeah. So most of the time when you see stories like that, it is um, kind of around um, you know Unreal. So maybe Unity as well. I haven't followed Unity games too much, but yeah, you see a lot of these like small indie games that are really successful, and yeah, made with Unreal, which is awesome. And yeah, exactly, blueprints are at the core, C++, right? So it's oh, come on, where is this one? This one is what I want to select. Oh yeah, Enron Tom, I think is an instructor on Udemy. Is like a pretty well-known instructor. I tried to use Unity, but I just couldn't get the hang of it. Well, and I did too. Like when I first started with CryEngine, I was looking at Unity, I was looking at Unreal, I was looking at CryEngine, and at that time, CryEngine was the one that was the best looking. Like for like a rendering standpoint, and that's why I ended up going with it. Um, Without thinking too much of how easy it is to make things or kind of build things. And that kind of bit me later, but lesson learned. So yeah. Tone lumens. Yeah, yeah, there you go. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've always kind of was hoping to have time, to take one of these courses, but that's always I'm glad you guys are doing that. 'Cause like I said, I've definitely just heard, only good things about that. Excuse me. Oh, Ultimate Course Development. Yeah, I'm not sure why that sounds familiar. Like I've heard about that course before. All right. Well, uh, I think this is how we're gonna end the stream. We'll see how this building looks, and we might call it good. There we go. We got the trim at the top. I can hide this for now. Let's see, where was my window with data layers? Okay, so we got something going there. I guess window placement is not too bad. Can work. Um, but yeah, I think this turned out at least better than I expected. So the one thing that I wanted to do is on this side I want to place like a mural type of thing, and um, just to kind of cover like a side or two in here, just like this um, barren kind of, not barren, but just a repetitive type of wall. So, the windows help break things up, but this section here, I'm just gonna try and find like a mural. So I'll share it with you guys tomorrow. Um, on what that is gonna turn out. Yeah. Oh, what? Can you hear me now, guys? I hope not. But yeah, 3 die. Yes, exactly. 279. Uh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Tomorrow we'll probably continue with some of this area. what I'll do in the meantime, maybe later on tonight, is fix these seams that. Oh, okay. Sorry. No worries, Imran. Um, so I'm gonna be working on fixing some of these seams and maybe trying to get this building completed. So we'll probably focus on getting this back alley to kind of dress set dressing. Hey, bonsoir, aussi, Tridai. Thank you so much, Abieto. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for stopping by, and have a great rest of your day, or morning. And I will see you tomorrow. All right. And just as a reminder, I'll be traveling for the next couple of weeks. So next two weekends, there's not going to be streams. Just like Easter and visiting some friends. So yeah, I'll say it again tomorrow, but just so you know. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Julius. You too. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? All right, take care, everybody. Bye.